Welcome once again to Clinical Theurgy, episode 18. We rejoin the party in a cart. And where is this cart leaving from?
A burning
Sorry
town.
for
ruins, dragonfire.
the smoldering ruins of the raised town of Carrefour.
Why was it raised?
They
I heard
pissed
something
off-
about dragonfire. Was that true?
I mean, we don't
What
know
is a
for
dragon?
sure that it's raised.
True, beast fire.
Yeah, it was just some kind of giant winged beast that breathed fire and could turn the magical road into obsidian.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, like, we don't know for sure what it was. But we had an interesting conversation with a guy in Carrefour shortly before its destruction.
Who was that guy?
Let's see.
James Harvest.
Yes, Harvest.
No
He
T.
got very mad when we called him Harvest. Yes. James Harvest.
We got his book and we got the fuck out. After I tried to tell him to leave, but he didn't want to.
After you tried to like snatch the book away from Antaeus, like
I was
Yeah,
just
that's
too
a-
strong for you.
That is a pointed conversation we have to get back. We're going to decide who's officially the leader so we don't run into that issue of commands next time.
The one with the book holds all the power.
there was also like a creepy person with red eyes that was like painting a picture of the beast. When we like arrived into town, that was kind of unsettling. But we basically made the call to. They wanted us to stay and help. They tried to basically force us to stay and help, but we made the call to do what we were told to do, which is get the book and get back to Knightsbridge, which turned out to be the right call because the winged beast lit up the town. So.
Yeah, he tried to force us to stay and help, and then immediately gave up. Was like, oh no, that's fine.
A coward before our strength.
Yeah, I was just like, well, you need to tell our commanding officer that because I don't want to get in trouble. And he's like, oh, let him go. I'm sad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw faces in his face, so that was a thing. I lost lots of sanity.
Yeah.
Good times.
All right.
Elizabeth lost a little bit of sanity too, since she kind of got that, like, she saw something that was like basically telling her to like get us out of there.
Well, it wasn't telling her
I
to get.
saw gremlins saying, yes, keep stalling.
Oh, that's right.
Stalling. And my intuition said, I don't trust these fuckers. They want us to keep stalling. We better get the fuck out of here.
That's right.
At least I'm not that crazy yet.
And so the party rushed the fuck out of Carrefour. And I believe let's give the dice a little bit of a roll. Just in case, because you are traveling in the evening. The roads can get pretty dark and dangerous in the evening.
Oh, I thought that the burning city was going to drive away all the.
Yeah, I thought it did drive away a lot
Yeah,
of beasts and
it's
stuff.
almost like the GM says things, and then when we start the session, the things are different. But you do arrive back in the city of Knightsbridge.
Oh, thank God.
Say,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think we should probably go directly to the ministry and let them know what happened.
Okay. So you head straight there. Ninoslav is not there when you arrive, but you can still give them the details of what has happened. Are you going to hand over the book to people, or are you going to hold on to the book for now?
I'll hold on to it for now. I mean, it's not. They didn't. I wish I should have written this down. Well, we just need. We need to go over there and get the book, and meet with him. Why am I forgetting what? Oh my God!
He did say that there was people here, like high quality people that would be able to like supposedly figure out what the, because we were just like told a book or device or something, and he did like say that there was people here that could figure out like how it can save this city, because the whole premise of it, I believe, was this item was supposed to be part of the solution to help figure out how to save Knightsbridge and how to deal with the blight and all of that. So that was like the point of like, Kare 4 can defend itself, but we need this information in order to defend Knightsbridge. So I think it's pretty much insinuated that they would want it from you, but it might be a bargaining chip to know that you're the only one that can open it, apparently. So, I mean...
Exactly. I mean, they can try to open it and spend all their time opening it, or they can let me handle it and hopefully not lose any more sanity.
Yeah, that seems unlikely.
Such insane hopes. Okay. So you inform them of the end of Kare 4, and can head home to your respective homes to rest and try to recover from that which you have left behind. Can I get will saves here from everybody?
Why? Why must you make me roll will saves all the time?
I know, right?
Will.
All right. So Elizabeth and Gulran, you will be well rested tonight. Brianna and Antaeus, knowing that behind you potentially lie the lives of hundreds, thousands, maybe more people, is just too hard for you to be able to find your way to sleep. So the two of you will not rest well, and unfortunately will not recover any spells or per day abilities for this day. If you happen to still have some, you still have them. But yeah.
I think Brianna would be sleepless. Maybe she would be trying to, think of some kind of song or something, like try and get out her feelings into her music a little bit.
All right, so Brianna is going to focus on trying to work on some music while she can't sleep?
Yes.
Okay. Seems like a good plan. And what is Antaeus doing with his lack of sleep?
The features of that the person that I saw in I almost said Harcourt, in his face, was there anything that stood out, or were they just kind of general humanoid features? Nothing.
General humanoid features. For such a brief glimpse of that face, it can be very hard to recall it, especially since it was kind of imposed over another face at the same time.
Yeah, nothing like a big scar on the side of their face or anything like that.
No,
right?
Nothing like that.
Okay.
Unless some things have changed about him that I don't know about.
No. Not that I know of. If they are, I'd love to know. But I guess he would just try to spend time researching either about this book, which out of character is probably not going to yield a whole lot, I'm guessing, or about the harvests, I guess.
Okay.
To see who that would have possibly been. Why? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, you won't really... There's not a lot of places you can do a lot of research on, but you can give me if you have any ranks in knowledge history or knowledge nobility.
I do.
Okay.
Wait, no, actually... We just leveled up, but since I wasn't able to rest, I wouldn't have had time.
You'll be able to level, you'll still be able to level, you just won't gain any of your new stuff quite yet.
Like skill points?
Your new spell, for spell points, you won't gain spell points, but you'll have gained your skill points.
Okay, because that does change quite a bit, because with the skill points, I put a lot of points in different knowledges just so that I can have a point in them at the very least.
But you won't... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You said nobility or...
Nobility or history.
I'll go with Well, actually, I'll start with history. I will use my cognitigen.
Okay.
I guess I should do that first. I have a button on here somewhere for that, don't I? Oh yeah, here.
Yep. It basically gives you a +4 to a mental, -2 to a physical.
Yeah, I'm using it on my intelligence.
Okay.
Actually, I totally forgot. I don't. Never mind. That's. Stop clicking random things. So yeah, I'll use my cognitive.
So you get a D6 on a knowledge check. Actually, is what it does. It gives you.
No, that's.
Oh no,
the
this is in
inspiring one.
in addition to the cognitive. Okay.
Yeah, and then I realized I forgot that cognitions don't work like elixirs. So, I think I just get the first one. But still, let me see my knowledge history.
Okay. So you from that will actually know quite a bit about the Harvest family now that you've at least got this time to just kind of like sit and recall and focus on this. The Harvests are probably one of the most substantial names in the country of Sierra Savant. It is said that many, many years ago, when the country was being first developed, there were only a handful of people that were brought over here to sort of work on the development of the country, work on its spread, and work on the magic that protects it from all the things outside. During this time, the Harvest family was one of the most well-renowned families that came out of the country of Prometheus. The Harvests were experts in a large variety of the more mundane things: engineers, carpenters, stoneworkers. They filled a number of good, or stonemasons, a number of the roles that like a new country would need if it's starting to try to develop a civilization from the ground up. But it is also known that the Harvests believe in this very strange idea. It's a bit of a lesser known thing, but a known thing amongst people who like believe conspiracies. The idea that the Harvests have some sort of prophecy that relates to them. Some like partially unspoken story about the lost family members of the Harvest family that exist in realms outside of the country that will one day somehow return to the country and make substantial changes, and whichever one returns will herald the change that is to come. But with a 26, not really enough to know details above that.
All right. I guess mobility probably wouldn't yield me a whole lot more. And I'm guessing I probably, like I assumed, don't find much about the books, if anything, or the book rather.
You will not find anything about the books.
Yeah,
or about the
that
book.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll wait until the morning to do shopping, because I don't think anything's really going to be open at night.
Nope.
Anything. Yeah, anywhere I need to go anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll just kind of wait out the rest of the night and try to sleep to no avail.
Okay. So the next morning, two of you are incredibly tired still, and two of you are quite well rested. As you rolled in quite high will saves. And the four of you can meet at the ministry office to report your findings.
Brianna has stopped off for coffee. She's basically like holding two things of coffee, and she's like drinking one, and she's like got another one for later.
All right. Ninoslav looks at the two of you that are tired as you arrive, and looks over at Brianna at the two coffees in front of her. I suppose then things didn't go so well in Kare 4. I believe I heard it was ransacked in the evening.
It was completely destroyed. As far as we could tell, there was this giant winged beast, and it lit the entire city on fire.
What of the book? Or, I'm sorry, what of the item? He doesn't know it's a book. Sorry.
Mateus.
Oh, yeah.
Wake up, boy!
You're talking about this? I'll hold up the book.
He looks at it and he pulls something off of his belt, and he places it like in front of it, and then looks at the object. Yes. This, I believe, is what we're looking for. What we sent you there for. What did James have to say about it? He had very little details when we talked to him, but he didn't want to disclose anything via letter.
Well, that's because he couldn't open it.
What do you mean he couldn't open it? He's an expert in this kind of stuff.
Yep, he is, but the magic is something more than that, and it didn't allow him to open it for whatever reason. But I went there and I touched it and I did this, and I'll open it like a crack and then kind of close it and seal it back up. And it just opened.
Hand me the book. Please, hand me the book.
I'll hand it to him.
He takes the book and, he tries to open it, and it won't open at all. What is this? Antaeus, what did you do to this book?
You're right. As an alchemist, that's my specialty, casting magic on stuff like that.
He hasn't done anything. Literally, he only got the book from James, and he tried to open it, and it opened. But we can all vouch for that he's not done anything to it.
Gulran, did he open the book?
He did, but it gave him that on his face, and I'll point to his scar.
Oh, that was something. Well, it was because of the book, but it wasn't because of me opening it. But yes, you're right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So maybe it's a good thing you can't open it. It might scar you like it did him.
So what you're saying to me, just to make sure I'm aware, is I sent the four of you on a mission to acquire an object that was of substantial power, and it turns out that the only person that can use it is the person who knows the least about Arcana.
Well, I know about Arcana, I just don't practice in it. There's a difference. My stuff is more Arcana adjacent.
Perhaps the enchantment in the book intended it to be that way. Maybe only those who cannot use the power inside are the only ones who can open it.
But then I should be able to open this book.
Oh. Well, it's just a theory.
Part of the reason I was put on the head of this is I am not a person who tends to dabble too heavily in the arcane arts. My interest is more in making sure that the arcane doesn't get out of control. I have worked my life to specialize in being quite the opposite of many of the other people who work here in the ministry, and so they put me in para-arcanal affairs to make sure that somebody who wouldn't just simply want to bring in everything and dissect it to learn more about how to become more powerful would be in a position of interacting with some of the most arcane creatures out there.
Well, the other issue is that once we got the book open, nobody can read it.
Oh.
What do you mean no one can read it? It's a book, right? It has to have words in it.
Well, not necessarily. It has pages in it, and the pages have pictures in it, but they don't have words.
It's a picture book. I sent you all to a city that was refusing to give up an item of exceptional power that is nothing more than a picture book.
Looks
He
can
also
be
kind of
deceiving.
freaked out when he found out it was a picture book too.
Yeah, you think somebody would waste a high level of magic on protecting a picture book if it was just a picture book?
I suppose not, but you realize how bizarre this seems, right?
Oh yes, absolutely, 100%.
James did mention that Antaeus reminded him of someone in
And
his
the book-
visions. Perhaps Antaeus, your ancestry has something to do with the protection on this book.
Yes, the book also has a history, and might I ask, has Carrefour been, for lack of a better term, raised in the same way that it was the other day in the past?
No,
No beast attacks, nothing that you know of?
nothing of the sort.
That's odd. That's very odd. The vision I saw was of the past, but it was absolutely the past. It 100% felt like the past, but it died.
Well, if they're anything like James' visions, he saw victory at Carrefour, and look at what happened to him.
To be fair, we don't know if he's dead or not.
That's still not victory, Antaeus.
That's true. Well, he said there would be great loss as well.
Well, we haven't heard word from anyone there. You're the first to return.
It does look grim, I will admit, but to be fair, we didn't see him die, so who knows? I'm not optimistic about it, but
The thing is that even if people did survive, it might be hard to get a message, because essentially when we were going to Carrefour, at a certain point it stopped being normal road and it was more like obsidian, and I guess James believes that or he's told us that interferes with Arcana.
That would make a lot of sense. Perhaps we should dispatch a team out there to take a look. At least a few investigators to identify what kind of interference could be being caused. Perhaps we're just missing some things. I'll work on making sure that's arranged. This seems, at the very least, like it is in our wheelhouse.
I'll try to reach back for the book.
We'd like to do some rudimentary research on it. If we don't find anything, since you're the only one that can open it, I'll make sure you get it back.
Might I ask what kind of research you intend to do?
We have very skilled people that have a lot of understanding of how to at least read the magic that binds this thing together. And so perhaps they can give us a better understanding of, at the very least, what this thing is.
Because I believe that I was instructed, as odd as that is to say, to make sure that the book is protected. Would it be possible for me to observe them as they're doing these things?
It's going to take days of research.
Hmm.
I assure you it will be here, and it will be highly, highly secured. It is going literally to the most defensible position in all of the ministry's offices.
Is there any way that I would be able to have access or something to be able to go in there, or like?
Antaeus, did this contain drugs? Are you now addicted to this book somehow? We said it will be in a secure and safe place.
Well, my apologies, but after all the things that we've seen the last few weeks, maybe, things are getting very strange very fast, and I apologize if I'm extra cautious about this, but...
Listen, you're stressed. I am quite certain you are stressed. And if we can get you some rest, I think you'll feel better. Just a bit of time is all you need.
Well... So there's nothing you could do? I just would feel a little bit safer if I had some kind of access to it.
It will get back to you once we've had a chance to take a look at it. It will be fine, I assure you. You have my word, Antaeus. I am a man of my word, if nothing else.
And I do appreciate that, but unfortunately you're not the only one that's going to be in contact with it, and you can't speak on behalf of them.
I certainly can. I know every person who will be in contact with this. They all work for me. They have all been heavily vetted. Letting someone that I would not trust have access to this book would be potentially the greatest danger I could bring to this whole city, if not the whole continent. I have great interest in maintaining our city and our people and all of the people of this country.
Well, thank you, Nino. I didn't know you trusted us so much.
I wouldn't have sent you if I didn't.
So what you're telling me is that there's no way that I'm going to get this back until I'm allowed to have it back. Yes.
There is no way I'm going to trust giving you this object until I know what the ramifications of it are. It would be reckless of me to give you extended access to a magical object that we do not know what kind of negative impact it could have on you. Already, it seems as if it's drawing you in, as if it's coercing your mind.
That's not necessarily the case. It's the vision. I was told that it needs to make sure that it's protected. It feels like it's my responsibility to make sure that it's protected.
It's safe. Goran, what are you trying to infer here?
I don't know if it's like out of character for Antaeus to be so unruly for orders and not. I don't know if I can infer anything.
Something does feel weird here. But to you, this is kind of like maybe this is just another aspect of Antaeus's addiction to things. Now he's addicted to this book.
Yeah, I don't get high on my own supply.
You're not getting it back today. Come back tomorrow and we can discuss things. What I will give you today, however, is another writ. And this time I need all of you to think very carefully about what it is you're acquiring. Your success in a number of ways has led us to believe that you may be of greater value than we anticipated to the ministry. This is a very substantial writ, and I need to make sure that what you spend it on will be of good benefit to each of you. And he slides each of you a writ for 7,000 gold.
Thank you, sir.
Are the same
Excellent.
stipulations placed upon this writ as the other ones?
Yes. In addition, I'm going to ask that you take the next 5 days off. You've experienced a very heavy trip back and forth to the capital, and what has happened in Kari 4 has probably left each of you a bit scarred. If you'd like, we have personnel that you can meet with in the city who can help you talk about and address some of the issues you may be having or feeling.
I'd like to do that.
Very well.
This is more of like something that he would be thinking. Are the names of the people that are on his unit public knowledge, or
No, they are
or not public, but like would that be something I'd be able to access or have access to, or would I need something like a higher rank to know that kind of stuff?
You would need a higher rank. These are people that are specifically kept private.
Okay. So I feel like if I even asked him about them, I would be agitating him even further, and that probably would go pretty poorly.
Antaeus, I promise you everything will work out okay.
I hope you're right.
In this case, I know I am. I know the people that work for me, and I trust them.
I hope you're right.
You are dismissed. He'll
sir?
give you a list of the people that you
Oh.
can meet with to talk to if you need someone to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah. So, who here wants to meet with and talk to somebody?
Brianna
before we-
definitely does.
Okay.
Before we would have left, I wanted to have that conversation with Nino
Yeah.
about assigning a leader.
Okay. So yeah, you can stop him as he prepares to break things up.
We've been operating under unofficial leadership, and I think it's time that you told us who exactly is to take charge. We had an issue with commands not being followed on our missions.
And who was issuing commands?
I was, of course. To Antaeus about that book. Led to his scar on his face.
And you all had decided that you were in charge of things?
Well, sometimes you gotta take the role when no one else is stepping up.
Are you aware of the concept of the leader is not... The title of a leader is not given. It is chosen by those who follow?
Sure. Well, either way we do it, I think we should have one because it seems that no one knows who to follow.
Well, good. Then I think I have no purpose here. I expect one of you to have decided upon your leader by next meeting. We're adjourned.
Well, we have 4 people. If we each vote for ourselves, we're a stalemate. So, do you want to
Do
vote?
you really think everyone's gonna vote for themselves, Goron?
No, but if 2 people, my concept was if 2 people vote for you and 2 people vote for me.
I mean, obviously, it's you and me, sort of. Well, here, let's say this. I think we should just do it this way. Brianna, are you interested in being leader of this group?
No.
Anateus, are you interested in being leader of this group?
No, but I don't see the necessity of having one person in charge either.
Well, Goron?
Of course, myself as leader.
I
Well, I
believe that's the
propose-
problem.
I propose this. I see 3 options here that I think are legitimate, and I say we can all vote on what we like for the options. First 2 options are pretty self-explanatory, obviously. I am leader, or Goron is leader. Third option, we create a co-leadership. Oh my god, my children are just running back and forth screaming.
It's fine.
We create a co-leadership of me and Goron are leader together to help keep each other in check. Whereas if I am seeing unclearly on something, Goron can help keep me in check. If he's being unreasonable on something, like he seems to be towards anything related to the dwarves, I can help keep him in check.
Or anything that's related to any race other than the dwarves as well.
I'll just point out she mispronounced her name, Antaeus. Also, how does that help if we both are opposite to one another in a situation and it's life or death? We can't argue about it. We need someone to make the call.
I do also believe that having more than one person in charge or having a group decision would be more beneficial, especially if we were in the instances of when we're in the woods and one of us suddenly is under a mind compulsion to stay in the woods. And if they were to give us commands that would force us to stay in the woods, we would be going against our commander if we did not do that.
That's exception to the rule, Antaeus. Have you heard of that
Is it?
before?
I believe that
Yes. If someone is not in their might faculties, there's provisions that someone take over. But if we have 2
think-
leaders, and
I
then
think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if we have 2 leaders, it does not solve the problem that I'm trying to solve, which is if we need to make a decision and we're all just arguing with 2 leaders, no one makes a decision. We don't want to be indecisive.
What is this knowledge law for?
about his comment about whether or not that's accurate.
I mean, this is your own personal group's ethics and ideas.
Well, I mean, like as far as like the chain of command would go, is if if this military or if this unit would be beholden to the commands of somebody under a mind compulsion effect or something of that nature.
I mean, in any circumstance where you believe that somebody is under mind control, you'd better have a substantial case for it afterwards if something comes up and you've done something to somebody against their will.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't just saying things and then things were actually different in this town than okay. Well, if
I
it's
don't
between...
know.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I apologize.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, I don't know. I think that there's a benefit to having, a co-leadership. To be honest, Gulron, sometimes you're very unyielding and you see things as white or black. You don't do well in the shades of gray. And I feel like that if we're to only have one leader, I would rather it be Elizabeth. But if you want to do the co-leadership, which I think is a very good idea, then I think that you two could complement one another in terms of what you bring to the party.
My issue is the point. If you guys want Elizabeth over me, that's fine, but we can't have two leaders. If there's a dragon coming and I say fight it, she says run, we can't sit there and argue about it. We need someone to have the final say in life or death, where decisions need to be made on the spot. Having co-leadership does not help unless you can provide an argument against that. The whole point of this is to avoid indecision.
I guess at what point does it actually stop, though? Like, at what point is it only in life or death situations, or is it any time that the leader would say something that we essentially have to follow it to the T?
You're putting out obtuse cases, Antaeus. Obviously, I mean, in general, if the goal is to travel to this forest and we all say different ways, the leader would just say the way to go and that's the end of it. It's to stop these in-party arguments that are leading to nothing and just wasting time is my goal here. Whether it be me or Elizabeth, I think we need to pick someone. Co-leadership doesn't solve anything. She can obviously, or myself, hear everyone's points and then make a decision. It's not rule of tyranny, but it would just be someone to make the final call and stop the arguments and indecisions.
Well, yes, the only reason I brought that up was because in that instance that sparked this decision, I was you that came to me with an issue of it and then made it an issue and tried to pull rank on me about it, even though it was in the middle of you guys doing something else and it didn't affect us actually leaving. And I was trying to find out more information about the book.
The point still stands. And this was an issue, obviously, when we met the dwarves. We needed someone to make the call. If Elizabeth was the leader, then perhaps we may not have even gone down there.
That is a very valid point. We could have been more steadfast in our decision in that. I will agree with you on that.
I'm not saying we have to follow to the ends of the earth whoever picks the leader, but in times of indecision when we can't make up our minds either way, someone should make the final call. And we should all accept that person's judgment. If you all think Elizabeth can lead us better, then although I think I'm a more steadfast leader, but I respect Elizabeth to follow her as well.
I do believe you'd be quicker to make decisions, but I think that her decisions might be more thoughtful overall, considering you have some inherited biases against certain groups of peoples. And I think that might cloud your judgment in some instances. No offense, of course.
None taken. Well, sounds like everyone's decided then. Elizabeth, are you prepared to take on the responsibilities of leadership then? I didn't hear you taking responsibility for our party when we came in here. That's part of leadership as well, is taking responsibility for things that the party does that maybe you don't agree with. Are you ready for that responsibility?
I have always voiced that I'm ready for the responsibility and take full. Were you in that conversation when I had to get you all out of jail? You have no idea how much responsibility I have taken for this party's actions. So please don't lecture me on that.
When we came back to Ninoslav, I took full responsibility for that.
I let you take responsibility in that moment because I already got my ass whooping for it earlier and took responsibility then.
I believe we were all equally culpable, and the reason we were thrown in jail, I don't believe it was the three of us.
Antaeus, listen up. I'm saying if someone's the leadership, Whether it Brianna with her sexcapades or Antaeus with your drug selling, whoever's in charge of us takes the heat. We don't let one person fall for. That's what I'm saying. If you're ready to be the leadership, you have to accept everyone's
Their
faults.
own times outside of work is none of my business when it comes to making sure that we're all doing our jobs properly. I will take responsibility for any commands or actions I request people do, but if Brianna wants to go sleep with whoever the hell she wants to go sleep with, that is perfectly fine for her. If it affects her work, then I will bring it up with her, but until then, she can do whatever she wishes.
And I'd rather not get any of you caught up in some of the moral or legal ambiguity of some of the things that I may or may not do. So
It looks like you're all ignorant because I have instances of all of you doing these things on company time or ministry time. So
Just like certain people like to break into people's houses.
yes, that was to solve a case.
There was no purpose in that. Seriously.
So I broke into a random house for no reason, is what you're saying?
No,
I'm
I'm saying that you made it personal because you showed up, started spouting off your ignorance, you made him not like you, and then when you decided that perhaps you hadn't gotten enough information because he didn't want you in his house, you went back, and when he wasn't home, you broke into his house.
Yes. So
Look,
how does that have to do with?
We are all stressed and tired, and now we're taking it out on each other. Let's all go get some rest, some recuperation. We can discuss this next time we meet and see if anyone's mind has changed. Right now, we're kind of all on edge, and this conversation's not looking good.
This is more indecision.
It is
good
not
for the
more
party.
indecision. It's allowing people to take their time making a decision when we have the time to make the decision. We are not in a life or death situation. There is no need to have this decision made the second Gulron. People can rest on it. They can get a night's sleep. They can deal with the trauma we just witnessed before making this decision.
I think this just proves my point, but sure.
well, then I suppose we should just vote now. Elizabeth, are you willing to take the helm?
This is what I
Yes,
said
if
10
that's
minutes
what you
ago.
want.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad we
There you
discussed
go,
it further for 10 more minutes.
Yes, I'd rather have somebody that's not a known criminal leading our group.
Oh my god. I'm glad
Yeah,
I'm not
I don't
taking
want a
responsibility
slut shamer for a leader.
I didn't slut shame. I didn't drug shame. I said you were doing things on ministry time that we may have to take responsibility for if it impedes with the job.
Never
That's all I
slept with someone on ministry time. Thank you
I
very
can-
much.
Do you want me to listen? What was
Yeah.
what's his face?
Tehran, I met him up. I met up with him after work. I wasn't on the clock.
All right, sure.
All right, yeah.
And with these arguments, let's go ahead and take a short break. We'll be back in a few. Make sure I do the right outro or transition.